Hi, I'm Josh Bowman, Director of Product Management for QxControl, and in this lesson we're going to discuss how to use the various live and playback controls. These controls are pervasive through the app, so we are looking here at live, where you're going to do most of your live viewing, but of course you could also do this within search. In the case of playback controls, you could do this with the camera info page. You can use a lot of these same live controls. So you will see these same controls in different areas in the app, and I will also point out where some of these controls are only available in certain places in the app. So we have 3 different types of cameras that you would come across that will have some different variances. So this is a standard fixed camera here, and you can see that we have a full screen, digital PTZ, and OSD option. So full screen, very simply, if I click that button, that is going to take me into a full screen mode. I can then either click the full screen button again, or I can double click, and that will return me to the previous view. Very simple. The other thing you'll notice is when you go into a full screen, we will automatically enable the digital PTZ. Now, let's say I'm not in full screen and I would like to use digital PTZ. I can simply choose that selection. You'll actually see the resolution change slightly. That is because we're going to automatically go to the highest resolution stream, because that is going to give you the most pixels that you can search and zoom through. And you can see here now, I'm using my mouse wheel. I can zoom in and out. I can also grab, and I can move around through the view. Pretty simple to do. And then I can choose digital PTZ again to turn that off. Now, the only difference here would be, again, that I would use sort of a pinch and pull effect for the zooming if I'm on a mobile device. So on a standard fixed camera, the last thing that you're going to see here is this OSD, this on-screen display, allows you to toggle on and off the on-screen display. Now, one thing we can do is we can actually go to the cameras page real briefly, and we can take a look at how we change what information is on that on-screen display. So very simply, that will be this additional icon to the right of OSD when you go to the camera's info page, and that is called Save Settings. This allows us to change the position of where that OSD will be located. So you can see we have 9 possible options here. So we're currently in the top left. You also see that we can choose what information is included on that on-screen display. You can see here we do not have metrics enabled. If we wanted to add that, we simply click to choose. Very simple process. Camera name, the date. The metrics would be your digital frame rates per second as well as your resolution. You can also show the place in the hierarchy where that camera is located, as well as the current time. Now, the last thing that we can change here with the on-screen display by choosing the OSD color box is we can choose between the 2 sliders here, and we can change both the primary color and the shade with the second cursor. And to save these settings, you will see here just to the right on the live actions menu here is Save Settings. So once you've saved that, that will now take. So if we go back to live, you can see if we turn on the OSD, we moved that to the top left corner, and you can see we went with kind of that green shade for the font color. All right, so let's real quick then talk about 2 other types of cameras that you may work with. The other would be a fisheye. And so when you do not have the digital PTZ enabled, you're going to see the entire fisheye view. If I would like to zoom in and look throughout that fisheye and look around in the view, I can zoom in and out, click and drag, and it works just like a standard digital PTZ function. But in this case, we're actually steering through the fisheye view. And when you save a view to come back and use that view later, you can actually position this fisheye, and you can actually drop it in multiple times as well and look at all the different angles in the fisheye that you would like. When you come back to the page, it will go back to that setting that you've saved. So in our case, you'll see as I move in and out, it will always come back to the store. That is the position that we had saved. So the third type of camera that is going to be a little different, give you different options, is a mechanical PTZ camera. So this is a camera that has a motor or a motorized lens, and this gives you the ability to actually physically steer the camera around, and you can actually focally zoom by zooming in with the lens and not just zooming through digitally through the pixels. So very easy to see here. We have the mechanical PTZ control is a joystick, and what we're going to do is go full screen just to make this easier to see. If I enable that, you're going to see the digital joystick, and I have two ways that I can move this camera around with this digital joystick. I can do finite movements, one click at a time, by using the jog buttons. So we have up and down, we have left and right. So as you get close to what you want to see, it's going to be very easy to make finite movements. The other option is if I hover my mouse over the center of the digital joystick here, I can actually drag the joystick in the direction I want to go. You can see this is a good motor on this PTZ. We're moving around pretty rapidly. And then of course, if I get close to what I like, I can zoom in here. So again, I'm using the mouse wheel just like digital PTZ, where I can move forward to zoom in, roll it backwards to move out. If I have a mobile device, again, I'm going to use the pinch and pull gestures to do that. Now, the last thing that I'd like to show you here for PTZ is that you can save presets. The number of presets will depend on what the camera supports, but you can see in the case here, we have several presets ready to go that are already saved. So let's choose, we have above cabinet. So that's going to go to the proper zoom and the proper location. You can see here, just by choosing these, takes us where we want to go. Very simple to do. Now, what I want to show you is just like with the OSD, that setting is in the camera info page. Let's go to the camera info page for a PTZ, and I will show you how to save a preset. So this is the same camera we were just looking at here. You can see here, now we have the same icon. So we have the preset icon. We also have a plus next to that. So let's move this to a different position. And we'll go ahead and zoom in just a little bit here. All right. So now we're going to go back to preset. We're going to choose add. And we can choose X if we don't want to do this. We've changed our mind. We can also choose the green check mark to save it. And now you can see this shipping location that we just created is now available in the presets. Now the last thing that we want to show you here is just how the playback controls work when you're working in, this is now recorded video. In the case of a mechanical PTZ, you're not going to be able to move that, of course, because this is in the past, this has already happened. However, the digital PTZ does work, so you will be able to zoom in and out of that recorded video. So you can see here, we've chosen that same spyglass option. Of course, we can go full screen just like we can. We can add in the OSD, so that is there, whether you've enabled it or not, so we can enable that later. And then that would be with your clip if you export. And then also very simply, moving left to right, we have the duration of the clip as well as the file size of the clip. I have the option to play, so it plays automatically when I come in. If I move that back, see here that that is now playing the clip. We can also move backwards and forwards, one frame at a time. We can go to the start of the clip all the way to the left. We can also go straight to the end of the clip by choosing the double right arrow to the right. Also, we can choose where the clip starts and ends. So we can make our clip start here. Could start to play, could stop and set the clip end. So now the clip will only be this duration here. So we've basically trimmed the clip, and we can also set that to playback in a loop continuously. So once we choose that option, you can see that will just continue to play within a loop. We can also clear and restart. So now we've removed those bookends, the clip start and clip end, and now the entire clip will play. and then we will cover the download and export in another lesson. So we can double click that again to return back to live, and then hopefully in this lesson you've learned, all the different ways that you can work with the live and recorded video, and how it varies from different cameras. So again, just another reminder on the PTZ cameras, you will sometimes see if you have a motorized lens, even if it is technically a fixed camera like a multi-sensor, or you have a zoom lens on your bullet or dome, you may still have this PTZ option control. One thing to note is it will not at this time support presets in that case. So that concludes this lesson. Thank you.